This photo is a picture of two destitute children on the streets of the Warsaw Ghetto and a man who appears to be approaching them and possibly helping them. And I chose this photo because it really shows the condition of life in the ghetto and how it had, or the effect that it had on its inhabitants. And a ghetto was a part of German-occupied territory in which the Nazi regime put Jews and Jewish communities to, on purpose or purposely, separate them from the rest of the population. The Warsaw Ghetto was the largest ghetto in Nazi-occupied territory, and there was a large concentration of Jews that lived there in extremely crowded conditions. Food rations were very minimal each day, and you can see the effect on these two children who, after weeks of living there, are destitute. You can see their bones are sticking out. And so I think this photo really shows the effects of life that life in the ghetto had on the population who resided there. The person who took this photo was a German officer who was an air controller and a photographer, I believe, and he went into the ghetto in 1941 and was taking photos of life in the ghetto. And the leadership of the ghetto confiscated his film in the camera when they saw what he was doing, but they forgot to check his pockets. And so he left, and he held on to that footage for a few decades after the war, never told anybody that he had it or what he had taken. And then in the 1980s, he encountered a Polish Jew who was documenting life in the ghetto of the Jews. And he shared these images with him, and later they were published in a book. And another reason why I chose this photo was I think it shows as well the many perspectives that one had during this time. You had the Jewish children who were members of the ghetto, and an unidentified man who was helping them. And then you also had a German officer who was under the Nazi regime, but he was also documenting what was happening, and nobody knows why he held on to those photos and why he never shared them, but later on was able to publish and serve also as testimony to what had happened and what life was like there. When you see a photo like this and you see children who had been part of the ghetto and the life, it seems almost unbelievable, and I think it's shocking in another way because children are very innocent and they don't really have any say. And despite everything that's going on in the larger scheme of the Nazi-occupied territory and the war, there's little doubt that children really could have any influence in what's going on. And so when you see children as the byproduct of this systematic regime of hate and prejudice, it really shows you how humanity was taken out of this. And I think seeing that, it makes you very, very sad and shocking again, and a lot of disbelief.